I'm Joanne Law, Director of Studies for Mediation Institute.
Okay, so you want to be a family law mediator. So the agenda for this session is, or introductions, we've already done that. We'll talk a little bit about the course duration, the contents and how we deliver, your training options, recognition of prior learning, the prerequisites you need to get into this qualification, what to expect, work placement and the cost and payment options. We deliver this training in partnership with a registered training organisation, Inspirative, and in this partnership, Mediation Institute has developed the course content. We enrol and provide all the training and assessment. Inspirative validate our work and issue the qualifications. Now, this is a bit of an overview of the course and potential duration of the basic training part of the course. It is online learning, which means that you have a course that you can log into and work through at your own pace. So you might take longer, possibly a little bit less time to complete it, and that's okay. The core units, so with the course there's 10 units, 6 of them are core units, which everyone must do as a minimum to be able to apply for accreditation as a family dispute resolution practitioner. And then there are 4 electives, and we'll talk a little bit more about the decision making between doing the core or full course. We are enrolling now for a mid-February start. The core units, you can read them here, so they operate in a family law environment, which is about a little bit about the family law system and mainly about our obligations as family dispute resolution practitioners working within the family law system. There's 3 units that cover the basic core skills of being a family law mediator or a family dispute resolution practitioner and working legally and ethically in a way that supports vulnerable people. There's another unit goes deeper into managing responses of working with families where there is family violence, and another one looking at child-focused approach. So making sure that the work that we do is in the best interest of any children that will be affected and what that actually means. Now, if you're only doing the core units, that's the course for you. If you're doing the full qualification, then there are 4 more units. One of them is work within a clinical supervision framework. Now, we use this unit because we are really encouraging family dispute resolution practitioners to engage and participate in supervision. It isn't mandatory, but we really highly recommend it, both for support for your professional development, but also support for you as an individual, because the clients we work with can be difficult and we do have to make a lot of difficult decisions. So it's very helpful to have a supervision framework, and in our case we work on a group supervision model. Now, the other 3 elective units relate to working with family violence in helping people with safety planning. So if they are in a situation where there is a risk of future violence, and also working with users of violence to affect change. So really a lot of focus on, we have a unique opportunity as family dispute resolution practitioners to engage with people where there have been high levels of conflict or even violence to help them to have a different future. And the other unit here is assist clients to develop parenting arrangements. We've kind of paired those. So if you're doing the full course, you'll usually do those 2 units at the same time. And this is about the really detailed, complete arrangements that are suitable to be parenting plans or to be, with some further assistance to become consent orders. So your work placement commences as soon as you're assessed as competent in role plays. So throughout this, you'll be doing role plays, practical exercises, participating in online discussion groups, and we do have a workshop that we will be running. We've scheduled our Perth workshop for June, and we'll be looking at Brisbane and Melbourne probably May, June, July, depending on how students are going, and potentially we'll add in a workshop in Sydney. Just depends on how many people join the course in Sydney. The decision, one of the first decisions you need to make is, do you want to do the core units only? Now, if you're comparing our course with the one, for example, that's offered by College of Law or Bond, they're a higher ed provider, and their course is equivalent to the core units. So it's not the same as doing the full qualification. It's the same as if you did the core units. So you do save some money on the core units. It's $3,000 less than the full qualification. And you do less training, so there's some elements that you wouldn't get. The disadvantages that we think are there of just doing the core unit is that firstly, you won't get a graduate diploma qualification. You just get a statement of attainment for the core units, which is fine. It's what you need for the Attorney General's Department, but you don't have that higher postgraduate level qualification. You miss out on the learning, so you won't get those 4 electives. Depending on your qualifications, your statement as a family, your accreditation as a family dispute resolution practitioner may be conditional on you retaining national accreditation. So do check it out on the Attorney General's Department site, but it's normally around for people that don't have one of the prerequisite qualifications. So if you don't have a law degree or a psychology degree, if you enter the course based on national accreditation as a mediator, you will need to keep that accreditation going for as long as you are accredited as an FDR practitioner to keep your accreditation valid. So. And the final thing is, if you do decide that you want to go on and get the full qualification later, in a year or something like that, then you'd be paying the full fee per unit fee. So if you decide you want to do one of our elective units as a single course, as a single unit, the cost is $1,200, so $1,200. As you've noted, it's $3,000 for the 4 units, so it's a saving of $1,800 by enrolling to do the full qualification now. So look, it's really up to you about which way to go, depending on your circumstances. Just a word, recognition of prior learning. So recognition of prior learning is an assessment-only process that looks at your past studies, experience, and identifies whether you meet the requirements of a unit of competence. The cost for recognition of prior learning is $300 per unit, and we do need evidence. So the types of evidence include a curriculum, CV showing relevant work experience, and it has to be current or really recent. So if you were working as a family law mediator 10 years ago, I'm sorry, but we can't give you recognition of prior learning. Too much has changed. A letter from your employer or other evidence from the workplace. You can't just write up a CV made. You would need some sort of evidence to say that it's actually true. The qualifications courses and other formal informal learning may be relevant, particularly the core unit around family violence. Quite often people might be able to get recognition of prior learning for that one because they have been working in that industry for a period of time. So And then the final thing is we'd normally have an assessment discussion with one of the assessors to determine that, you know, you do have the required depth of knowledge. Remember, this is a postgraduate graduate diploma level qualification. With that brings a prerequisite requirement. So to enrol in this qualification, you must hold one of these prerequisites. So it might be an undergraduate degree or higher qualification in psychology, social work, law, conflict management, dispute resolution, family law mediation, or an equivalent. So this is an entry level to get into the course. Counselling isn't a prerequisite, which means you know, a diploma in counselling won't get you direct access. Another alternative is to hold accreditation under the National Mediator Accreditation System, and I'll talk about that a bit more in the pathway option. You may be able to hold the mediation skill set from the Community Services Training Package, or you can provide documented evidence of previous experience in a dispute resolution environment. So if you've been working in, let's say you've been working in a family relationship centre as an intake officer, or perhaps working in a law firm providing support to clients, that, you know, working in as a paralegal, then we may be able to look at that experience and give you direct entry. So we would need some evidence, which might be a letter from an employer or something like that. So if you think that maybe what you've been doing in the recent past is relevant, definitely have a chat with us about that. So don't despair if you don't have one of those. You can just engage in the pathway program, which the easiest way is to become a nationally accredited mediator. We do have training in the mediation skill set, but it is a certificate 4-level training, and the cost is a little bit higher. So one of the questions that we get asked frequently is, why enrol with Mediation Institute? Why not go with one of the other providers? So we thought up, well, why should you? So here are 5 good reasons for enrolling with Mediation Institute. Number 1 is we have a passion for this industry. We set up Mediation Institute in 2013 with the intention of creating a new, we think, better alternative to this training and support for family dispute resolution practitioners. All of our team are industry practitioners and very, very passionate about this area. Employers are contacting us, asking us if we've got more graduates, because they're really happy with the level of the people that they've employed. And we're really happy for you to talk with any of our graduates where we can put you in touch, because obviously we couldn't say anything, but they're more than willing to say nice things about us, which is very gratifying. The second is excellence in training, design and delivery. Sometimes this gets lost in the whole sales process when you're trying to decide what to do, but ultimately you're buying training and you need good quality training. So our course is innovative, it's award-winning. In our first year of operation, we submitted it into an awards program. We just wanted to benchmark ourselves, and we ended up winning. We won the e-learning excellence award for the vocational education and training sector. And now this was against a field of very large TAFEs and education providers. And the reason that we won, the judges said, was because our course is so flexible. We use video mediation to practice. We use webinars to engage and have discussions. So you don't get lectured. You participate in discussions and learning groups. So That's why. So we're a specialist training provider. We don't have hundreds of different irrelevant courses. We train mediation and communication skills type courses. We have a new small business course which is designed primarily for professional services providers like mediators to help you set up your business. So everything we do is around this this concept of either being a dispute resolution professional or a leader or a business person in a business that sells professional services. We're flexible in everything we do. So there isn't, one of the things that confuses people is that we don't publish a set curriculum or for the course, because you don't have to move through the course at a set pace. You can speed up or slow down as your life circumstances dictate. Sometimes people have to take a break. We've even had a situation where doing the course, one of our students realised that she was living with family violence, quite severe family violence, and she ended up leaving, going to a refuge, and it was over a year before she was able to come back and resume her studies. That's okay. We can cope with that. Some students come in at all different backgrounds and life experience. Some that a lot of the material is very new and they're going to take longer. So for some it's just a refresher and a refocus, so they can move through quite quickly. That's okay as well. And the final and I think most important reason is that you will get your 50 hours of work experience. Some of the providers think that it's okay to count role plays as being work experience. We don't. Your role plays are important. They're an important part of your learning, but it's not the same as working with real clients. We have an arrangement with Interact Support where we can provide that, or if you're working with a family dispute resolution service, or you have an independent family dispute resolution practitioner who can provide you with work placement, then we can support that as well, and you don't have to pay the extra amount of the course costs to cover the out-of-pocket costs we have for that work placement. If you're wanting to do the minimum and just get a piece of paper, we're not the best provider for you. If you want to become a really good professional in this area, then we think you should enrol with Mediation Institute. So one of the major concerns that people have is around work placement, and rightly so. We often get inquiries from students from other providers desperately looking for opportunities for work placement. Mediation Institute has an arrangement in place with the not-for-profit Interact Support, which we were instrumental in establishing, and I'm actually CEO and program developer for Interact Support. With Interact, you'll have the opportunity to participate in your full work placement, so you won't be shortchanged. And if you do have the time, you'd be able to participate in more client work during your training. So some of the things that you'll be doing is Interact consultations, which is a special service that we've developed with Interact to help provide people with some clarity as they're going through their family law issues, and help them to make decisions. So it's kind of a goal setting session, but with a Interact Support practitioner that has a good understanding of the whole family law system and the options for the person. The other thing that we do is safety planning with clients. So you'd be able to work with people that have a current real risk of future violence, helping them to plan to be safer for them and for their children. You'd be able to do follow-up and checking in calls with clients so that you really get a chance to understand what's going on with them and what their issues are. And of course, once you've gone through the course far enough that you are assessed as competent in role plays, you'd be doing co-mediations with clients. So a lot of Interact support services are provided online, because one of our goals with my Interact hat on is to make this sort of support more accessible for people. Large parts of our country are underserviced in terms of support where they have family violence or family conflict issues. So a lot of our services are delivered online, but we do also have Interact support practitioners on the ground in various parts of Australia. So if you're in one of these areas where there's a little red dot, it's likely that you'll be able to participate in face-to-face family dispute resolution sessions with clients, as well as video and phone work. If there aren't practitioners, if we haven't got Interact practitioners in your area, we will attempt to engage with local FDR practitioners and see if we can get someone you can do some face-to-face with. So we promise you will have your 50 hours working with clients online or via video mediation, and wherever possible, we will also get you face-to-face experience. So as far as course fees and options are concerned, if you decide that you only need the core units, that's the 6 core units, this is equivalent to the course that Bond or College of Law have. If you want us to provide you with that 50-hour work placement, then the course cost is $8,900. If you believe that you can locate someone that will provide you with the placement hours, or you already have someone, so you might be working with a family dispute resolution practitioner or service, or know someone, then you don't need to pay the extra loading that it costs us to provide that placement for you. So your course fee would be $6,900. Now, you'd need to pay a deposit of $1,500, and then we've got an instalment plan between 7 and 11 instalments. If you want something different, we're mediators, talk to us, we can negotiate something else. We do have links to 2 different finance providers, education finance providers on the website, and they have quite low interest rate loans available if you wanted to pay over a longer period of time than 12 months. So that's a deposit, and then 11 monthly instalments from the next month. The full qualification, so that's all 10 units, including the work placement, is $11,900. If you believe you can provide your own work placement, $9,900. And once again, the 7 to 11 instalments. If you don't have the prerequisite, then we have a pathway program. Oh, I forgot to mention that if you do take an instalment arrangement with Mediation Institute, it is interest-free. So we aren't, you won't be paying any extra. If you're thinking about using one of the higher ed providers and having a student loan, just be aware that the government does put a loading. Last time I looked, it was 20% that goes on top of your course fees, and there might be some other fees. So really, if you're wanting to defer with a government loan, just make sure you're aware of what it actually costs. So anyway, back to the pathway program. So the cost for NMAS accreditation is $3,449 with Mediation Institute. You then need to accredit, so it's $320 for 2 years. And with the accreditation, you have membership with Mediation Institute, which provides you with a number of free professional development opportunities. We run a monthly web discussion group, group supervision, which is talking about practice issues, so client work, those sort of things. So it's a supervision group group supervision session delivered by video meeting. That's the first Wednesday evening of each month. And on the third Wednesday of each month, we have a group session looking at practice development things. So marketing, selling your services as a professional mediator or family dispute resolution practitioner. So that's if you are looking at setting up your own practice, or even just looking at doing a bit of work in addition to other areas, that's well worth coming along. And that's hosted by Ken Speakman, who does a short presentation on a specific area and then opens it up to discussion. And we run other activities as needed, and your accreditation and membership with Mediation Institute also gives you an external complaint handling body, which is another requirement for accreditation. So then the graduate diploma, you'd be eligible then to enrol, and your course fee is going to be between $6,900 and $11,900, depending on whether or not you need placement and whether you want the full qualification. We do provide a discount for our pathway students, so there's a 10% discount if you do the pathway off whatever this fee was. Right, so I've already spoken about this, so payment options, and here are the links to the education finance. You can also find those on the page on our website about the graduate diploma course. Enrolment process, so the first step in the process is to download the application form and submit that. With that, if we need further evidence, or we're not, particularly if there are issues around your prerequisites, we'll set up an interview and just confirm that. Once your enrolment's confirmed, then we'll basically organise for payment and get you started on the course. As I said, the course starts in mid-February. We'd like everyone, we're looking at enrolling 21 students in that intake, and we'll start another intake later in the year, just depending on demand. So if you are interested, we really encourage you to let us know now, so that you don't end up being disappointed. How to let us know? Email to the office. You can call us. We're going to be running these sessions every Wednesday over the next couple of weeks. So if you want to come to one of the group sessions, feel free to do that. Otherwise, get in contact with us. We're happy to do an individual one. One of the things that I guess sets Mediation Institute apart is we don't treat you like a group and a class. We look at you as individuals that need, you need a tailored training program and solution to get you where you need to be to become a family law mediator. Yay!